Well, going back now to the story in Mexico, as the results in Mexico's election come in, we're going to take a closer look at the violence in the country, as that was really an issue that dominated the vote. To give us a different perspective, we're going to speak to a field coordinator with Justice in Mexico. It is a US-based research unit that studies crime and violence and works with leading Mexican and international government and civic organisations. Ms. Laura Calderon, thanks for your time. Firstly, violence really a major issue in these presidential polls, notably because violence has been dramatically increasing in Mexico, this year the worst on record. Any idea why it's increasing to such an extent?
Hi, thank you for having me. Yes, well, we're trying to analyze the different things that are affecting mayors right now. The main thing is stability, right? If there's uncertainty in the near future, it is more dangerous for a mayor, especially in like a rural area or like a more like smaller municipality. It is harder for them and it's more dangerous if it's some near future uncertainty. And that's what the elections have been bringing. And in this case, that's why like the end of 2017 and the first half, or at least what we've seen of 2018 has been especially violent towards mayors and candidates.
Indeed, a number of mayors, and I believe a total of 210 political candidates killed since the campaign officially began back in September. But it is an ongoing problem. We've seen a gradual increase over the last decade or so. The new president-elect vows to eradicate it, but, you know, what can he do?
Yeah, well, it is a tough problem. It's not only, of course, the problem is like mayors are in danger, but it's also like journalists are in danger, and just the general population is seeing an increase in violence as like a general trend. So it obviously requires a lot of attention, and it requires specialized programs. You can't attack the problem in a national strategy or national plan, just for example, like militarizing areas of conflict, or just launching a special all-Mexico program. You need to look at the special conditions. You need to look at the cities where they're being killed. You need to look at things like if they're rural, if they're urban, if they're used for transit of drugs, or if they're used for production of drugs. You need to look at maybe how much support or money they're getting from the federal government as well as the state government. There are a lot of issues going on, and certainly it is a problem. It needs to be attacked, but it's a very place-specific thing to be doing.
And Laura, is it still really about the drug trafficking, or has it diversified? We're hearing a lot, that it has indeed become a more widespread criminal gang situation, and indeed that arresting the kingpins, can actually, like El Chapo, can actually make matters worse.
Yes, we have a lot of research on that area, actually on like the organized crime in Mexico, and we've found that after the kingpin strategy, especially after the arrest of El Chapo, these organizations, like splinter organizations, what we call basically smaller organizations that were there even when the Sinaloa cartel was stronger and more like homogeneous, are becoming larger and more powerful, and they're fighting now for territory. So if you take out the kingpin, what you're going to end up doing is just creating smaller kingpins all around the country, and that's what's been happening right now. As also, like the data we collect is for organized crime style murders, we call them. They have certain characteristics, but there's also like other attacks that are not lethal happening.
Okay, so it sounds like a very widespread problem and we need a long-term plan. Laura Calderon, we're going to have to leave it there, but thanks indeed for joining us here on France 24.